My name is Joshua Waldron.
Hi, my name is Emily Powder.
Hi, my name is Joseph Likens.
Keep watching GPS 19. You don't want to miss us.
Alrighty, folks. We're good.
Read what it said.
Okay, Mark, are you ready?
I can't even.
All right, good evening. Tonight is July 22nd, and it's about 6:07, and I'm calling the Groton Board of Education meeting to the beginning, and we will start with the Pledge of Allegiance, and the flag is behind us. And Beth, if you would be willing to lead us, that would be fabulous.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, everyone.
I'm not crunching on you, but I know they're crunched down there.
No, go ahead. Come on over.
They have room.
All right. I believe it's my understanding that we do not have visitors or delegates tonight.
Correct.
So I am going to move us to the comments from citizens portion of the agenda. And this is the portion of the agenda where the board welcomes comments from citizens. Each presentation should be limited to 5 minutes or less, and citizens should, if possible, submit written comments. Presentations should be related to matters pertinent to Groton. Board members will only ask questions in this time period in order to clarify the speaker's presentation and cannot respond during the comments from citizens portion of the board meeting. Citizens should make their presentation from the podium and state their names and addresses for the record. Is there anyone in the audience that would like to chat? Seeing and hearing none, we are going to move on to number 3, which is the student representative report, and how dedicated you are that you're actually even here during the summer.
Yes.
Gosh, we like you.
There are no notes as of right now, but I will be coming back soon.
Awesome.
Yes.
And would you be willing, do you know who will be your comrade for the fall?
Zay will be coming, and he'll be coming during the next COW meeting, I think in August, and then I'll start coming regularly. So you'll see him very soon.
Okay, and his name is?
Xavier
Keto.
Thank you.
Okay, awesome. And he's a junior, is that correct?
Yes.
Awesome.
He's the junior president of his class, so, yep.
Great. Well, we look forward to meeting him, and once again, thank you so much for coming.
Thank
It's
you.
so good to see you.
Yep.
So we're now on to superintendent and administrative reports.
I'm just going to remind the board, this is something that actually we talked about during the Finance Committee meeting. During the budget process for FY19, it's that middle paragraph there on the CIP. We put in anticipation of having to fix the lead problem in our water. We requested $50,000 for a study. And I'm going to ask Mr. Kilpatrick, if you see at the very bottom there, it says the town council didn't approve the $50,000, but the RTM did. But in the interim, Sam has done a number of actions, so I'll let him explain. But the bottom line is going to be, we no longer need the $50,000, and so I'll make a recommendation at the end of Sam's comments.
Good evening. Since we requested that money, I've been working with a different person at the State Department of Health who has given us some other ideas about how to remediate the problem of lead in the water in those 3 areas that we had them, Claude Chester School, Fitch High School, the Field House and Concession Stand. And basically, What we did were change some fittings, some fixtures, and some piping in those areas, different things at different areas, but and retested as was directed by the State Health Department, and found that we were below the action level. So we are within the parameters set by the state.
So as a result of that, there's been a couple of retestings since then, and always the level of the water in the areas where we thought we had a problem was below the actionable level. So my recommendation is going to be to inform, with your permission, I intended to inform the town manager that the board no longer intends to do this study, that the lead in the water issue has been addressed, and that money can be released in essence.
How do, Jay, do you have, since it has come through the finance and facilities, do you have any other comments about that?
Not really. I mean, I think that's the responsible thing to do if we don't need it at this point, to send it back.
And there was a $150,000 follow-on, fearing, frankly, that it was a much more extensive problem. And so we actually never put in for that 150. So this actually will inform the town that the 50,000 is no longer needed, and the 150,000 that was on our radar over a couple of years out is off. And so the matter, CM has been working with the health department, and the water official from the health department has been very satisfied.
Jay?
I would say that I think we should recognize that Sam was able to accomplish all this within our operation budget without drawing on this 50,000, and we've now determined that, you know, all the water is within levels, and I think that he should be commended for that.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, it was not only done within budget, with the operation budget, but it was done by our own personnel, so we didn't even have to contract out to get it done. So Paul Tedeschi and his crew did an excellent job in completing that work.
That's wonderful.
So maybe, Jay, to your point, and also to Sam's point, is that maybe one of the things that we can ask Dr. Grenier to do, that when he does contact the town, that he actually states that not only are we going to be not giving back, because I don't think it's ever, that we don't need the 50, but that we were able to do it in-house within the actual operational budget. To let people know that
Yep.
we actually do function within our operational budget, which is not a surprise to us, but might be to others. All right. So any other questions about that? Okay.
I'm actually interested to hear Susan's report, because as I said in board notes, the activity in the central office has multiplied by about threefold. It's pretty active during the school year. It has become really rooms full of teachers writing reports and curriculum, and it's been really extremely productive. What's today, the 22nd? So actually, President Horler has been part of this team. The last 3 or 4 weeks have been, not only for teachers, but for students as well, so I'll let Susan fill in the details.
Okay, so I guess I would like to start with the summer curriculum writing. So I have a little chart for you to see. A backup chart has all the names listed of our teachers who've helped out, and there have been, I would say, probably 5 to 10 teachers on every single working group that we've had that you'll see here. And they've come back, and they will come back in August to look at the work. And they just are to be commended. I mean, ELA, they all had a launching date of the 8th, and ELA accomplished this amazing task of redoing pacing guides and looking at assessments and talking about universal assessments, and then doing report card standards in 2 days. And then some of them overlapped with the with the mathematics, which was good because they could talk about the work that they had done. And same thing, within 2 days. It's like amazing. And we're going to come back together because they're going to launch this in department meetings on August 27th. So we're going to have Mark Brackett in the morning to talk about social emotional learning and the ruler. And then they're going to be able to talk to their staff. Principals and staff will talk about how this can impact their schools. And then we're looking forward to the afternoon, having departments meet, grade levels meet, to really launch all this summer work. So everybody's on board, and not just handing them and delivering what a few mighty soldiers have put together, but giving us feedback on it. And really scrutinizing, looking at it, so we're gonna come up with protocols and a way to do this. So you have that two-way communication with all your colleagues, even the ones who weren't able to join us in the summertime. So I thought that this list would help you to know. I've been saying we're doing all 5 cores, ELA, which is reading, writing, grammar, conventions. They even got it on the report card. I said to Dr. Ackerman, and a way to assess it with phonics. Mathematics, K-12, so ELA, K-12. And in many cases, the ELA in middle school and high school work, or in all disciplines, work together as a team, 6 through 12. So they really could see the continuum. Now I think the important work is to bring 5th grade teachers with middle school, or upper grade teachers with middle school teachers, to complete that continuum, K-12. So the cores, ELA, math, science, social studies, and world language really is our 5th core, considering that we're really becoming an international baccalaureate district. And I have to say another thing that was so impressive is that we really had professional development woven together with curriculum writing. So we had some expertise. Steve Armstrong from the state of Connecticut came to talk to us about social studies, spent 2 mornings with us. It was a wonderful conversation about the state document and how it can be used, and they really from scratch were able to work K3 at least, and look at 4 and 5. So it was just, tremendous work. And we had from CREC helping us out for the science, and our principals took the lead and worked with me with the different grade levels so that they were involved in this too, because it is their job to monitor and evaluate teaching and learning. So it's so important that they get the same kind of PD and the same information for curriculum writing and are part of the process. So I was really happy about that. Plus I could have used their help, and I did. So I was very grateful. And with the world language, this was the first time we partnered up with Stonington. They were having a conference on proficiency standards with Greg Duncan, who is a renowned world language teacher, presenter, and they had a couple days where they worked together, and we had a facilitator who's done this work before, and they went off to do their PD, came back, and everybody was so impressed with what Groton brought to the table, and then continued to do. So we really have both our level 1 and 2 in both Spanish and French completed, with materials for the teachers already, in hand. And we're going to be moving on to 3 and 4 with the idea that the seal of biliteracy for all students would be made available. And one day that could happen. So that's kind of the expectation. So we're very, very excited about this work. And just a big shout out to the teachers, a big shout out to Dennis, because he's been the one who's been instrumental in helping me to understand the Google world and to help the teachers locate all of this information. So they're working simultaneously in the Google closet, I call it. I said it's as messy as mine, but and then it becomes the face page for that dashboard. So I'll come back to you with some teachers in the fall to showcase this so you can see all of the different aspects of it. And then there will be some updated Board of Ed documents in these that have just had some either minor adjustments, or in the case of social studies, have had some major work in the elementary. The other thing that happened, of course, you knew about the camp. We had over 350 campers for the STEM and the writing camp. The last year for the writing camp, unless we figure out a different way. But some children took a whole day, and Ernie was able to use that as a feeding site, and they had snacks for breakfast and lunch and an actual lunch. So, so some kids stayed for the whole day, did both. Some came for one part of the day or another part. And a big shout out for both Val Nelson and Carol Marsiglio and the teachers, because this, talk about creative. Teachers created the STEM program from, their work in the classroom and their creativity, and kids loved it. Everything from creating a helmet that would protect an egg, which could be your brain, dropped, to avoid concussion. So kids were actually creating these devices. Just one thing after the other. It was wonderful. So it was reported in the newspaper, so you got a sense. And then summer learning opportunities are, all of our school libraries, except for the high school, are open to children and families, including our campers that are at Northeast Academy through the rec camp and at Mary Morrison. And Claude Chester has 2 sites. Not only are teachers at Claude Chester for these morning read-alongs and giving out books and having an activity, but they are at the Hess Community Center, which is in Branford Manor as well, to make it more convenient for our families. So, and that can all be found on grotonschools.org. I'm going to pass this over to you, Jay. And families can find out when those dates are and find out how they can, and it also includes community partners and what they're doing. Just a quick update on Transition K. We met as a team, and Mrs. Perler helped me out with that too. She's been helping all along with many kindergarten teachers, pre-K teachers, preschool teachers. It's been the task force for a couple years. So we sent out this notification for the children that we've identified. There were 22 students that, based on the data, we wanted to come back for an additional assessment called the Brigance. And there were also 17 students identified who did not come in for screening, who have some of the requirements of still 4 years old, won't turn 5 till fall or later, and who we really just wanted to meet and get the Brigance done and a kind of mini version of the screening, so that instead of waiting till August, for all of those kids, we'd have a better understanding. And then we can prioritize and let families know about this wonderful opportunity that we have for children who are young and just not ready for kindergarten, have had limited preschool, and it's going to be a combined curriculum. So once we hire the teacher, posting closed, we hire the teacher, and we bring curriculum writers to the table. We're looking at the early learning developmental standards for part of the year, and then marrying that with the Connecticut core standards for kindergarten, just introducing those so that they'll be really ready when they start kindergarten. That's our goal. And then just a couple other things.
So Susan, you've got a couple of, we've got a couple of questions, so.
Okay. Yep.
Before you go any further, so it doesn't get confusing for
Okay.
me, the first question I had was about the science, the social studies. About how many teachers came to this, the curriculum writing? You had the facilitators listed.
Yes.
But about how many teachers would come and do the curriculum writing?
So for social studies, I would say about seven for elementary. And for middle school and high school, 7.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
And like I said, they worked like in a couple days to, pull this all together. They're going to go back and look at it the week before school starts so that they'll be, have the protocol for sharing this information and getting feedback from teachers. And, they'll look at assessments that they've written in addition to the pacing guide and looking at the landscape and the materials that will be used. So, but I do keep a running list. And in most cases, About 7. I think we had more in math and ELA. We probably had a dozen in each of those for K through 5. Amy McKenna, so our department chairs, Amy McKenna for ELA, she worked with about 4 or 5 teachers, and they did this work in a couple days. And I know that Jason Englund also worked with about 3 or 4 high school people and about 4 middle school people in science.
Yeah, I was just curious, because, when you just see facilitators, it's nice to know that, there were a lot of teachers involved also.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then my next question is this the first time the elementary schools and the middle schools and high school libraries have been open? I don't ever remember that before.
Well, I would say that we've been working this in through our enrichment funding that the board provides for the elementary and middle schools. And so that's just been something that I've been kind of spearheading with the library media specialist. But the board actually commissioned me to work with summer learning opportunities and our libraries, our public libraries.
Right,
and
I know that,
So we
yeah.
had a whole task force, and some of you had come to that. And so we really talked about ways that we could really get books in the hands of kids, and to try to make it more strategic. And using the governor's reading challenge, the governor's math challenge is kind of the basis, so that kids could put information in digitally, they could put it in print, whatever worked out best. And then schools always do some kind of a special celebration when they come back.
But what are the hours that the library is open? And
So
I
that's
just
all-
haven't seen it publicized, very much, so I just want to
Well,
let
I
the
know
public
that
know.
the schools publicized it and did robocalls, but that's why I gave you that piece of paper that has the summer learning opportunities on the front page.
Yeah.
So if you go on to the front page of the website, you can click on the various schools and find out when they are having these celebrations.
So it's not the celebration, I meant the hours that the library is.
Yeah, the library is open once a week usually, or twice a
Oh,
week.
just once a week? Oh, it made it almost sound as if they were open every
All the
day
time.
for the students
Yeah.
to come in and out, but it's not the case.
No, but it's a couple, once or twice a week that they are open, and they have really a program scheduled for them.
That's really
Yeah,
interesting.
It is.
Yeah.
And so now
The
it's
high
really
school
become
also?
all of them. I've got
not
to
the-
work
No,
on that.
not
a
the
little.
high school.
Not the high school,
No.
okay. But the middle schools.
Middle schools. And they actually had kids come into their libraries before they left, and they were able to take 5 to 6 books out, and then they had a follow-up date that they could return books and recycle. So,
And in terms of I missed that the transition K, how many students have been identified again?
so we have 22 coming back for additional assessment that were screened. We have 17 that have not been screened but meet criteria to be screened coming back in the next couple weeks. And we have about 4 sites that we have teachers at the different sites to help out. Beth is one of them, to do this screening.
That just sounds like more than one transition K to me.
So we will prioritize then with all of the data that we have. We had to cast the net kind of wide to then prioritize who would be, and it also gives us added information when they are in kindergarten. So there's some students that we know so much more, and so even in placing them into kindergarten classes, we can really fairly distribute and make sure that services are provided early on.
So the teacher
We'll
will
have more
actually have a lot of information about a child because they've gone through that assessment.
They'll
And-
still have some in August, so
Right.
they'll still have 2 days in August to finish doing that. assessment.
Can I ask on top of your question?
Oh, yeah, I'm all done.
Could the board, once you figure out what the criteria is, to sort of whittle yourself down to the class size that you guys need, which I'm not even quite sure, I'm sure you guys have it in your mind, I just don't have it in my mind about what that class size is. I think that would be just kind of helpful for us to know.
I think I had mentioned it was on my PowerPoint show that,
Yeah.
that we probably initially will have 15, 16 seats.
Okay.
And prioritize those children, but we want to leave a couple seats open for in August, should there be other children, or we look back at the list too to
Okay.
add more.
I just think, I like the fact that you are keeping us sort of updated since this is a new pilot for us.
Right. And we'll certainly bring back the curriculum to share with you. Once we've hired the new teacher, we can bring the group back and plan to do that periodically throughout the year to keep you updated on how it's going.
And my astute, lovely friend to the right of me noticed that you have a date on August 7th at Colchester and Hess Center. What's the Hess Center?
Hess's Center is the community center in Branford Manor.
Oh.
So that's when I was describing that
And they said
Claude
yes.
does the reading program at both places. We'll also do and they happen to be that day, so it makes it really convenient, because then the kindergartners can come in and while we're doing the library program and have the assessment done at the same time.
Thank you. It's
It
just,
hasn't been
I've never
decided
seen
yet
that
which
before.
school, but as soon as I, finalize with transportation and Dr. Grenier and the principals, I'm hoping that we'll have an answer by the end of the week.
Awesome. Thank
As to
you.
where it will be.
Thank you.
That will help. And then just teaching and learning is as busy as ever before. That place is like a revolving door with so many people, including our Treehouse program. But we are already planned the new teachers, and I think it's the 16th of August, and Beth will be part of that with me and with the XO or the chief to come in and talk about our military community. And also our PD has been done, and teachers are signing up for the PD in August. Hiring, we of course are hiring a new principal for NEA and now for the high school, so hiring is really in the midst of things. So there's quite a few things happening in each of the departments that kind of report to me. Technology, like I said, has worked with everything from student data and that report card that we told you about. So they're now collecting more data from last year, from the 19 year, and trying to make sure that it's accurate. So we have some things in place to help look at the accuracy of those numbers.
Wow.
I have one more quick question. Who is the board member representing the board for the principal's position at Northeast Academy?
Jane.
Great, thank you.
I'm so sorry.
Yep.
Good.
So that's it. That's it.
Are you doing anything else?
So my thanks to also to Susan, as always. Thank you for really being at the helm of leading us forward and all that stuff, and also for your partnerships with the leadership in the district. It only really makes this district as strong as it is. So really, thanks. My hat's off to the two of you and to all those to all the others that are working tirelessly.
Just one last quick thing. Heather
No.
Dalton is one of our teachers in Charles Farnham, and she's written her first children's book called Tanglewood. And so she had an article, so we're trying to put up the articles also on the front page of our, website, so people can see that we're in the news quite a bit lately. And so we're really proud of her.
Wow.
So I did purchase the books so that every school I did it myself, to purchase a book that she signed and put it in each of the school libraries. So we're really proud of her.
Wow. All right, well, thank you. So, Mr. Knight, can you top that, please?
I cannot top that. But I am here to talk about our object code summary, which is our attachment 1. So this is our object code summary for FY20. If you notice that first column, FY20 budget at the bottom says $77,438,090. This is our new budget for this year. We are very early in this year, as you're aware. So we're really just, most numbers are at budget at this point.
Yay!
Yeah.
Not a month in, and we're
The look forward at this point is we are on track. So we're balanced at this point.
Any other questions? Jay, do you have anything that you would want to add to that? Awesome.
The next exhibit is number 2, which is the health insurance report. So this one is through May of 2019. These things are usually at least a month and a couple weeks behind. So we won't see the June one at earliest next meeting, but maybe even after that, because it's the end of the year, it takes them a while to finalize. But through the month of May itself actually was just right at budget or slightly above, about 4.9% above budget for a year-to-date of 91.7, which is pretty similar to the last year. Last year, May, we were 17% above budget, so we're tracking a little bit better. We anticipate June will probably come in heavier as it did last year, so we're anticipating that it'll probably end up somewhere in the 93.5% of budget, similar to the prior year.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
So Ken, in that second column from the right, the variance, 941,000, if, at this point, although we expect that will be a little bit lower number, that would be the number that would default into our health insurance reserve?
Not quite that simple, because this 941, this is both retired as well as active employees, so there's
Okay.
an element of this affecting OPEB as well.
I see, okay.
So it's not, but in general, yeah, it's a positive for our health insurance reserve.
So I think by September, we should be able to tell you officially what the June 30th health insurance reserve, because as you know, the board used 1.3
Yep.
million in this year's budget, so we're hoping to go back and recoup that.
Right.
Okay, thanks.
Any other questions? Hearing none, let's move on. So Director of Building and Grounds, I hear, it's fun to come up the hill and seeing the structure off to the right. It actually made me cry.
So with your permission, I'd just like to go back to a point that I missed earlier regarding the water service project. When I said Paul Tedeschi and his crew, what I really meant is Paul Tedeschi, our plumber, and Bill Johnson, who is our boiler tech. They did the bulk of the work, and Bill Johnson, who is our boiler tech, is capable of doing a lot more than just boiler technician stuff, and is always willing to do whatever it takes. So I just wanted to make mention of that. And
Thank you.
secondly, when Susan was talking about the summer program at Charles Barnum School, I wanted to also mention that our Transportation Department of Patty Gomez and Jen Aquino, who get the notifications on these children a couple of days before it has to go into action. So about 400 kids going to school at different times, some for part of the time, some full-time, some being picked up in one place, dropped off in another, and day by day, that may change as well. So in a couple of days, they really put this transportation thing together, and so I'd just like to mention that as well. And now, if I may, I'll talk about Groton 2020. Yeah, as you can see along Fort Hill Road, although you shouldn't be taking your eyes off of the road,
I was a passenger.
you may have seen that magnificent thing coming out of the ground, and you were the passenger. Yeah, no, it's really exciting and pretty impressive, too. It's really going to be an impressive building. In the meantime, so you can see that it is progressing as expected. We're on schedule at this point, possibly a little bit ahead of schedule, but I wouldn't jinx us like that, so I won't even say that. This past week, we met with the architects and discussed the HVAC system, the heating ventilation systems. And I am meeting with the architects again on Wednesday to talk about doors and hardware for the building. So these things are moving along very quickly. Also, with regard to 2020, you knew that we needed to start some things early at the middle school properties. So the West Side Middle School fuel tank has been removed. That was removed last week. And the sewer realignment project at Cutler Middle School will be starting any day. If they didn't start today, I didn't get down there today, but they'll be starting within days if they haven't started today. So that's it.
Rita?
I was asked by just a couple of people in the town where the entrance to the new school is. I know that the students are going to come in through Fitch High School, but there's another entrance on Route 1, and they were wondering, is it through Sutton Park or not?
The driveway is going to be shared, we're going to be sharing the driveway with the technical school, so you go up the driveway quite a bit before you get to it on the left-hand side, so you'll actually enter on the technical school driveway.
The same.
That cutting that just went through, where you can see the school now clearly, is actually for the sewer that's going to come across and go across Fort Hill Road and then go down the other side. So you may have seen a little bit of clearing on the opposite side, or as you're going down the hill on the right-hand side.
So that's part of the project too?
That
because
is.
a lot of people have been asking
Yes.
me.
Yeah. And then my other question is, the state for the new Grasso Tech is building something quite large there that's going to have the sign, for the school. Will it also be for the Groton Public Schools? Because, you have to, their entrances is very elaborate now, the state, bricks and concretes, and so I was just curious how our signage
I'm
is
curious
gonna be.
too. I asked the question at one of our last meetings. I didn't get a complete answer yet, but I'll ask it again and see if I can get an answer for our next meeting.
Maybe.
I don't think it's going to go on the same wall, but it'll be, we're going to have a sign down there somewhere, but
We'll have to, yeah. Okay, thank you.
Maybe someone with a suit on, with the sandwich boards. I actually have a couple of questions for you, if that's going to be okay. Do we know how the summer feeding, it's not the summer meals.
meal sites.
Like, how are those sites going, and do we know how that's been?
yeah, they're moving along as expected. And of course, you know that the beach concession is doing really well, especially after this past weekend.
I bet they were slammed.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's the
Actually, those
term
were
we're
my
going to
two
use.
questions.
They were slammed.
So I spoke to Ernie, 17 sites,
It's unbelievable.
750 meals a day, lunch meals, and about 350 breakfasts at the 17 sites.
How many lunches is 7?
About 750 a day.
A day? Over the 17 sites?
Yeah, spread out over the 17 sites.
Wow.
And what he said to me was, there are 15 staff members working in the concession stand. Some high school students, some our employees, and with the meals program, 11 kitchen staff that would not normally be employed during the summer are being employed. So it's really kind of a win-win for the community.
I was going to save this for correspondence, but I hope that I can just indulge for 1 second, because this is directly about your staff. So I do know someone who happens to be one of the co-directors of Campa Bubbles, which is handled through, maybe it's not Bubbles, that doesn't sound, Buttons. Buttons. You say Buttons, I say Bubbles.
One of those bees.
It's something like that. Which is a park and rec camp that supports our students who are receiving services in our district. And she just was enamored by how responsive your staff has been to make this camp run, because it's a pretty staff intensive, but they have, sometimes she said that before they could even speak about what they needed to have, it was already there. So once again, to some oftentimes staff who don't always get the recognition that they want to, just wanted to let you know that Camp Buttons is incredibly excited about the partnership with the NEA staff that you have there. So thank you very much.
Well, thank you, and I'll relay that message.
Please do. Please do.
Yeah, I was going to say one thing on the front, Lori.
I got it.
Yep,
I'm
okay,
back.
all right.
I'm here.
I apologize.
It's so good to see you, my friend. So if you could give us an update on staffing and stuff, that would be fabulous.
Sure. Good evening. I'd like to just give a brief update on the staffing situation for the summer. As you know, summer's our busiest time with staffing. Take you through a little bit of the retirements, what's going on with that, and then we'll talk a little bit about where we are. So we had a small number of teacher retirements this year. We had 8. We had 2 administrators retire. And then we had a small number of resignations, teacher resignations. We had 5. That's not unusual. We tend to have about 3 to 5 each summer. Life circumstances change, and teachers do tend to leave during the summer month. So we've been in the process of filling all of those positions. We actually filled most of them prior to the end of June. We got a very early start with hiring this year. So we're in great shape with teacher hires. Administrator hires we're working through, as you know. We're continuing our efforts on Northeast Academy. Hope to wrap that one up fairly soon, and getting started with Fitch High School for the principal position at Fitch High School. So the only teaching positions we currently have open that we're still working on, well, I should say we're not still, we are working on, are the new transition K teacher and a recent resignation we just received for math teacher at the middle school, but all other teaching positions have been filled, commitments have been made. Those teachers are ready to get started and come join us on August 16th for New Teacher Academy. Paraprofessionals, we have about 19 vacancies that we were starting with, which is an unusual number. It's actually not too bad. It's about 10% of our para workforce. There's an element of transition each summer with those as they could either continue on their path to school or whatever they might have going on at home. So we're working on those right now. We'll be working on those with the principals. They'll be interviewing very soon. We would anticipate wrapping those hires up by early August. So anticipate a pretty smooth start of the school year opening as far as staffing goes. I think most of our needs are going to be met. And then we'll have some additional positions, small amount of bus aides, and I think kitchen needs are pretty well staffed at this point. So, we're going to start the school year, I think, in pretty good shape.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you. Any other questions?
I have a question for Lori. Lori, there's always an issue with substitute teachers. How are you handling that? You know, we had talked about in the spring having a job fair, bringing everyone together for fingerprinting, interviewing, and not just substitute teachers, but paraprofessionals, so that they're, so what's going on this summer for that?
Yeah, sure. So we continue our outreach efforts. We have expanded our career fair participation. We used to only do a couple per year. Now we're up to about 6 to 8 per year. We do them all year round. We'll be doing some recruiting in August for sub-teachers. Well, paraprofessional we're already working on. Sub-teachers we'll be doing in August. We've shifted some of the responsibility. We're actually doing some of the pre-screening and interviewing within HR, amongst the HR staff, to try and help out the schools. So that helps facilitate getting those individuals hired and into the classroom sooner, rather than having to rely on maybe the school-based committees to do those interviews. We're trying to advance some of that effort to help get those hires made, sooner and faster. So that's definitely, I think we're going to see some improvement this year with that, because we're able to provide some extra support in that area. And the other thing we've been doing, I just want to comment on related to hiring, is we started a new program this year to work on taking non-certified staff members and giving them assistance to get them certified as teachers. So we started that program this year with special education, and we did have some special education openings this year. We had 2, and we're able to actually advance 2 of those individuals into certified positions. So we're excited to see that program is working, and we anticipate running that on an ongoing basis. We'll probably put about 2 to 3 individuals per year into that program to get them ready. We go through a very detailed selection process. It's nice to see the success of that program and the sustainability going forward. We focused on special education. It's one of the key shortage areas. We may expand that. We have had discussion about expanding that into science and math possibly in the future. We've done that in partnership with UConn Avery Point, because they're running those programs there, but we've also had those non-certified staff members take classes at other universities as well. So it's not segregated just to UConn. They can pursue any program they'd like, as long as they can complete their studies within about a year to 18 months, so that they're ready to go for a teaching position.
You're doing this at Avery Point in conjunction with Learn. Right.
Not in conjunction with Learn, just allowing the students to, we've been working with Avery Point to get students enrolled in the program there at Avery Point that meet the criteria for their program and have an opportunity to have some assistance from the district to do so. Yeah.
And we do some reimbursement.
Exactly, correct.
Tuition reimbursement.
Tuition reimbursement, correct. Yeah, yeah, as well as they do need a little bit of release time, very late spring and early fall, in order to get through the advanced programs, and we basically arrange coverage for their responsibilities so that they can have the release time they need to attend that program.
Right.
Yeah, yeah. And then also just a side note, we are, with our hires this year, we are taking some extra steps and making sure that we're doing some extra communication around the middle school consolidation, the upcoming consolidation. So we're being sure to inform applicants before they take positions so they know exactly what's going on with
So that if they're in a middle school, to know that they will be leaving soon to go to a different building.
Yeah, the middle schools are one-year assignments.
No, the one-year assignment, middle school teachers, because we will be losing FTEs.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
We tell them up front.
Yeah, we tell them up front, and then also other staff members, we're just making sure that they know what's going on in case there could be any ancillary impact. We don't know that that's the case at this point, but just making sure that we're keeping communication transparent and open. Yeah, so.
Any other questions? Lori, thank you for coming. It was good to see you. So moving on to committee reports. Policy?
We continue to meet. We are going to talk today, I think, 4 different second readings. We met today, and we are canceling August.
Wow, great. Curriculum.
Curriculum, and Ms. McGuire came down from the high school, and just, I just want to say that she reiterated everything that we had already discussed about the various courses that are going to be offered in the coming year. And she just kind of reaffirmed any question and answered any questions that we had. And Mrs. Austin and I will be getting together to set up the agenda for the next meeting in August.
Okay, awesome. Finance and facility.
We discussed several things that are on the agenda tonight. We discussed the water study project, where we recommended that the CIP go back, the capital improvement project. We referred the memoranda of understanding on unified sports and ELL to tonight's meeting for those stipends. And we also received a report. Apparently, we still don't have the final report on the NEA air quality issue, but I know Sam's been working very hard on remediating that as well, as if he doesn't have enough to do. But I guess we still don't have the final report from the consultant on how that can be solved. And that was it.
Thank you. All right. And then some of our other things, negotiations, we have completed, and we're sort of awaiting for, I believe, our attorney and the union, the paraprofessionals attorney to kind of go over some language in some contract language, and then it will needs to go and be ratified by the union, and then it will come back for us for a vote. So we are done with our negotiations, basically, and that's sort of what they are. And in August, or the end of August, we'll be starting our negotiations with the administrators. So stay tuned for that. And while I'm just talking, and then I'll go to all the other ones, we have not met with the liaison with the AGSA or the GEA. That will happen in October. I believe it's October. And that also the last month's liaison between the town council, the city council, and the RTM was postponed because it was like July 3rd. And it was right before the holiday. So Learn with Rita.
Thank you. Learn is continuing to meet with the executive committee, and Kate Erickson, who is the new executive director at Learn, presented her platform, her goals, and how Learn's administration will be reorganized under her leadership. Very positive. I think everything will be wonderful. She's a great person, and she'll be follow Dr. Holly's.
I completely agree.
I think Dr. Holly was her mentor, so I think it'll all go very
Very
smoothly.
professional, very competent.
professional. Yes, yeah.
And there's a new CFO, is that correct, at Lauren?
Yes, yes.
So, okay.
Yeah, I just can't remember his name. He just came on board July 1st. I'll tell you next. I have another meeting August 2nd, so.
Okay. Well, thank you for your leadership on that. I see that Gretchen Newsom is not here for the Trails and Groton Scholarship, so we'll skip those. And I'm going to move on to the action item or the consent agenda. Notice there is no approval of gifts noticed. And so I'll just take a motion for the acceptance of the regular board meeting minutes of June 24th, 2019.
So moved. Make a motion.
Okay, so I got, so moved by Andrea.
Second.
Second, sorry, Rosemary, you got. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of the approval of the regular Board of Ed meeting minutes of June 24th, 2019, please say aye.
Aye.
Oppose? Abstain? The motion has carried. So we're now on to discussing a lot of motions. I am just going to ask the board for just a second to move to number 10. Which is going to be most likely us going into executive session. So what I would kind of like to do is to kind of continue to save that for 10, but I would like to get all the rest of the stuff done so that when the board comes back, we can just finish up what we need to for number 10, but we don't have to have people stay here to take notes and et cetera, et cetera. Does that sound that that's okay?
Sure.
So instead of going right to 10, we're going to just continue on with the rest of the schedule and correspondence, and then come back to 10 and go into executive session. We've done that before. I'm not being eloquent or succinct. I apologize.
First, if I meant attachment 10, but I know what you mean by 10.
Okay, sorry about that. All right, Katrina, would you be willing to read the motion for number 1, please?
Okay, I'd like to make a motion to approve the turnover of Pleasant Valley School to the town of Groton.
Can I have a second to that?
Second.
All right, so this has been something that we have been discussing for a really long time, since really the end of winter, that this is, that we, because of the budget cuts that we received a couple of years ago, in order for us to make up that money, we, the board made the decision to close Pleasant Valley School. We did so. We have been, it has currently being used for the robotics and has been up until then. My understanding is that there will be an MOU so that the town will keep the robotics program there. It is currently on the market, but it has not had any buyers as that I know of. And it takes about a year anyways. Even if they had someone tomorrow, it would take them about a year to kind of go through the whole process. And so the town has been willing to do that. So, and once again, this is something that we have chomped on for a really long time. I just want to make sure that people who are watching know that, that we're not just saying, sure, it's time for us to do that. But I don't think that there's anything else about that, but if people have.
I think the storage is we're gonna keep our storage facility there for a year
The MOU
also.
will be robotics for an
Thank you,
entire
Rita.
year and the A-frame for a year.
Thank you, Rita.
And then they have to find new homes.
Yes, we're working on that.
Right. All right. If there's no further discussion, all those in favor of returning or turnover of Pleasant Valley School to the town of Groton, please say aye.
Aye.
Oppose? Abstain? The motion has carried. Yay! Jane, would you be willing to read the motion for number 2, please?
Sure. To approve as a second reading policy P 6141, curriculum design/development.
Can I have a second to that? Rosemary. I'm going to get her in there. All right. So this is something that we had last month for a first reading. This was where we had the chart, right? We had this great flow design, and it's enclosed in there. Do we have any further questions about that? Awesome. All those in favor to approve the second reading for policy P 6141, curriculum design and development, please say aye.
Aye.
Oppose? One.
No.
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 Oh. Abstain? Oh,
Aye. Yes.
Aye.
She's an aye.
Okay. Well, I don't know if you're waving at me. I'm sorry. Any abstentions? All right, motion has carried. Sorry, Katrina, I
No
misread
worries.
your body language. Jay, would you be willing to read motion for number 3, please?
Could you pass me on that one?
Sure. Yes, please.
To approve as a second reading, Policy P 5141.3, Health Assessments and Immunizations and Regulations, R 5141.3.
Thank you. Can I have a second to this?
Second.
Second?
So Jane has seconded? Discussion? All right. Hearing none. All those in favor to approve as a second reading policy 5141.3, health assessment and immunization and regulations are 5141.3, please say aye.
Aye.
Oppose?
Nay.
We do have, all right, and then abstention? All right, motion has carried.
I'm sorry, Jay said no.
That's correct, and the rest were positive in the affirmation, sorry. So, number 4, Jay, would you be willing to read number 4, or would you continue like to pass?
I'd like to pass on that.
Okay, awesome. So, Lee, can you read motion number 4,
Yes.
please?
A motion to approve as a second reading policy P 5112.2, admissions requirements.
Can I please have a second?
Second.
Any discussion?
This is the second reading, right?
Yep.
So we've had a lot of discussion, but there doesn't seem to be very much that's changed on this. There's just a little bit.
Yeah.
But,
Just to not necessarily use the birth certificate, that's.
There's lots of other options, including the birth certificate, but there's other options as well.
and the documents for proof of residency, there's also different things for that, too. It's sort of like getting your license, where you have to show that you have mail coming to your house and so forth and so on.
But there were no changes on the proof of
Right.
residency documents.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Hearing no other further discussion, all those in favor to approve as a second reading policy P 5112.2, admissions requirements, please say aye.
Aye.
Oppose?
Nay.
Abstain? Motion has passed. Where am I? Lee, would you be willing to read the motion for number 5, please?
Motion to approve as a second reading policy P 3542.43, food service charging.
Can I have a second?
Second.
Discussion? Jay?
So, for those that are watching, I think it's important to understand that the operative policy change here is that in some districts, and I guess in the past here, we've offered what's called an alternate meal when parents have not paid for, or not up to date on their lunches. And we felt that it wasn't fair to hold that against the student. Some of you may have read over the weekend that there are districts, such as one in Pennsylvania, that are actually going so far as to turn their parents over to social services for not paying their lunch bill. So we wanted to make it clear here that we're not going to
Do that.
do that. No, well, number one, we wouldn't even consider that, but also that we're going to give them the same meal. It stigmatizes them and also provides them with something less than is nutritionally balanced. However, I still hope that through the regulation and the administration, we can pursue how we're going to get these parents either the services they need or some kind of action so that the town is not on the hook for their lunches. So it's a fine balance here, but I think we've struck it.
I can say, I spoke to a parent recently, there is that scholarship program that, although people may not qualify for a free reduced lunch, we have created, actually it's a donation account, and people can apply and at least have a portion of their balance paid for through that. And that seems to be progressing. So, I think that plus earnest efforts just to communicate with the parent, we will continue that. But you're right. We are not going to in any way indicate that this is a problem for the child.
Right.
Child will get the meal the same as anyone else would get it.
Thank you, Jay, for doing that. Rita?
Could maybe someone on curriculum just tell me why the Board of Education is crossed out?
Which policy are you looking at?
The one we're talking
To
about.
third
So it's the
paragraph.
third paragraph. In red, of education is crossed out. I was just curious why.
I don't know the answer.
I mean, to me, it clarifies it.
Yeah.
It could have been me.
It could have been
It could
you.
have been my
Yeah, but we
editing.
do bring back some of the corrections back to Erica, so I can double check on that.
It could just been a word thing.
Yeah, okay. So, because to me, it sounds better.
I have to look at it again.
Pardon?
I'll have to look at it again.
Well,
Okay,
it's
thank
not substantive, so we'll,
I'll ask
Right,
Erica
it's not
to see
substantive,
where
it's
that
just a
came from,
question.
change.
yeah, we'll look at it and we'll consider it.
Thank you.
Any other discussion?
Nope.
All those in favor of the second reading of the policy P 3542.43 food service changing, please say aye.
Aye.
Oppose? Abstain? Motion has carried. Rita, would you be willing to read number 6 motion? Thank you.
I'd like to make a motion to approve as a second reading policy P 6161, equipment, books, materials, provisions, selection.
Can I have a second on that, please?
Second.
I have Andrea for a second.
No, that's Jane.
Oh, Jane, oh, sorry. Giving the person the wrong credit. Any discussion on this? Once again, this is a second reading. Katrina,
Actually, I will wait till the vote is complete.
so you have nothing to offer?
Not about
For
this
discussion.
particular policy, no.
Okay. Any other discussion? Hearing none, to, all those in favor to approve as a second reading the policy P 6161, equipment, books, materials, provision selection, please say aye.
Aye.
Oppose? Abstain? Motion has carried. Katrina, would you be willing to read the motion for number 7, please?
I make a motion to approve as a second reading policy P 6161.
Oh, can you go to number 7,
I
please?
just did that.
Oh,
We're on 7.
sorry about that.
It's all right.
Attachment 9.
Oh, okay. Discussion and possible action regarding the More Than Words advisor stipend of $2,000. Could I ask that Mike do a little explanation on what this is?
Yep, if I can
Sure.
get a second, and then we're going to go into discussion, okay?
Second.
So Rosemary, all right, so can we have a discussion around that?
Sure. This is a club that meets weekly, that really provides a lot of diversity support to the school. And then, in addition to the advisor meeting with the students on a weekly basis, he or she coordinates with the Ledyard High School and New London High School. So it's a sizable investment of time, and as our student representative knows, when there are crises at the high school, the students come forward, and they've done some professional development for the staff. So I thought it was important that this be recognized and continue as a key part of our kind of promotion of diversity in our school system.
Thanks for explaining that for the audience.
And this is also the MOU is supported by the leadership, is that correct?
We have discussed it, and we have an agreement on the terms and the money involved, and the stipend, the amount of stipend.
Rita?
Had we discussed this at a COW?
We did.
I don't remember discussing this at a COW, but anyway. How many would the students participate in this, and would Ledyard's and New London High School, would their representative also receive a stipend? Have
They do,
been?
they do now, only Fitch doesn't.
Only Fitch doesn't?
Right.
Okay, thank you.
I would say on a weekly basis, usually 15 to 20 students come to the large, the three-part group that I coordinate. But on a weekly basis, 20, 25.
Well, recently in the past year, there's been more students in the club, so I would say probably, 2025 is probably reasonable, and different students cycle in and out. But yeah, it is a fairly large group. We meet weekly, and we have in-school and out-of-school trips and field trips. But yeah.
Who is the president of the club?
I am the president.
I thought that.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right, any other further discussion about this? Hearing none, all those in favor to approve the More Than Words advisor stipend of $2,000, please say aye.
Aye.
Oppose? Abstain? Motion has carried. Jane, would you be willing to read the motion for number 8, please?
Okay. To approve the Unified Sports Stipend per, help me with this, MOA stands for?
Memorandum of Agreement.
Thank you. With the Groton Education Association.
Can I have a second, please?
Second.
Okay, discussion.
Again, this is a program that the board approved, I think, 2 years ago. It was added to Schedule C. And
Which is what?
The Schedule C of the contract, the stipend amounts. I actually have it here. And the idea came up recently that when it was approved, you'll see in yellow, we thought it was about the same level of interaction as cross-country team. But what happened over the last 2 years is that the program has expanded from 1 season to 3 seasons. So we have soccer in the fall, we have basketball in the spring, and volleyball basketball in the winter, and volleyball in the spring. It is a huge group. It's actually co-facilitated by 2 of our high school teachers right now. So when it expanded to 3 seasons, we talked a little bit, and what I learned was the team, all 3 seasons, now this goes from September through late May, they play, they practice 2 hours or so a week. They play a game a week, every week or so. And then the weekdays that they're not doing that, they have a half-hour social interaction with the students. So it's a big deal. I don't know, I go to games, there's like 50 or 60 students there, because it's unified. It's adult, it's special education children as well as regular ed that play together. It's really a phenomenal thing. So one of the things that Beth and I talked about is that we would simply, we don't think there ought to be a stipend for 3 separate seasons. It's not quite that much. But we do think it would be appropriate to give them for, say, 2 seasons. So Beth's suggestion, which I agree with, would be simply to provide 2 stipends, or to double the amount of the stipend, but to pay it in the fall and then in the spring. I think this is money very well spent, and it's really a terrific program.
Rita?
Are there
And then
2
Katrina.
people?
2. Well.
So will they be splitting it?
Yes. Yes.
That's not uncommon, though, for other
That's right.
dual chaperoned, or not chaperoned, but dual run
Yeah.
teaching. Katrina?
I noticed on the top of the form, under 5 full years, full 5 years and over. I know they've been doing, the same coach has been doing Unified for quite a while, so where will they fit?
I think they're still under 5 years. So.
Okay, and then after 5, they've switched to the next.
Correct.
Will we need to vote on that again?
No.
Okay.
in the contract.
Well, we'll do an MOA, and then when we have to negotiate the next contract, God help us, we'll put it right into the thing.
We have 3 years.
All right, any other questions? Hearing none, all those to approve the unified sports stipend per MOA with the Groton Education Association, please say aye.
Aye.
Oppose? Abstain? Motion has carried. Jay?
Can I just make a quick
Please.
observation? So anyone who's been to any of these games, I mean, you really come away with a sense of how important it is for these students, and the parents will tell you how important it is. And these teachers have been doing it voluntarily now for several years because they believe that strongly in it.
Thank you, Jay.
I will say this, they had a dance, I don't know if you went, Addie, but they had a dance at the end of the year. They brought in the teams that they competed against, and they had sort of a prom type thing, and some of us contributed articles of clothing to it, like ties, and people got really dolled up, and so this whole unified movement is really terrific. So again, there were special education students and regular education, and getting together in a real spirit of support for these kids.
Awesome. Rita, would you be willing to read number 9?
Yes. A motion to approve the English Language Learner Assessment Coordinator stipend per MOA with the Groton Education Association.
Say that 5 times fast. Can I have a second, please?
Second.
Andrea has seconded it.
So we have a requirement from the state to appoint, we actually just got it fairly recently, to appoint an English Language Learner Assessment Coordinator. But our ELL coordinator actually does a lot of work in support both of the high school, middle school, and elementary school students. So we thought about that, and it will be open, and Beth and I have an agreement in principle, and we're recommending this level. There is something called head teacher. It's already in the, it's $2,044 a year for next year. The English, the ELL assessment coordinator does all the LAS links and all the data that we present to you in May. But he or she does an awful lot of work during the year because we continue to receive students who do not speak English at the time of their enrollment or don't speak it well. And so this is a kind of an ongoing issue. So to have someone that would be appointed to this coordinator position would be really, I think, a strong statement of support for our students that are not native speakers of English.
Any other discussion around this? All those in favor? Hearing none, all those in favor to approve the English Language Learner Assessment Coordinator stipend per the MOA with the Groton Education Association, please say aye.
Aye.
Oppose? Abstain? The motion has carried. So I am going to move us down to the information and proposals section, leaving 10 for us to go into executive session as we talked about. So, Jay, do you have letters or communications?
Well, I just want to say, in addition to all of the summer food programs that are going on through Ernie, I wanted to highlight the Transition Academy's hot dog stand over at Pequannock Plains Park, and that's in partnership with No Egg Nibbles. The Day kindly published an article about this a few days ago. They're at Pequannock Plains from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Monday through Thursday, from now until August 8th. So I would encourage people to stop in and see our folks from the Transition Academy. It's called Hot Dogs and Nibbles. So.
Love that. So when is it? It's Monday through Thursday, 11 to 1?
11 to 1,
And
yes.
it ends August 8th?
Yes.
All right. And it's at the concession stand at
That's, yeah,
Pequannock?
Pequannock Plains Park, which is 150 Fort Hill Road. I haven't been yet, so I don't know if they're in that concession, or do they have their own tent?
Okay.
Next to the concession stand, I think it's our tent.
Okay. Awesome.
Yep.
Rosemary, welcome back. It's good to see you.
It's good to be back. I had kind of a light month.
All right.
I went to the board meeting of Sound Community Services because we had a voting session, and just to say we will be having some interesting news coming out of them in a little while.
Oh, okay.
But I can't spill the beans.
All right, please don't.
And I attended the policy meeting.
But once again, it's good to have you back. And another person who is back and it's good to see,
I am so happy to be back.
and we're happy to have you. And I know that you have been recouping, but did you have any correspondence or anything?
I have not.
All right. Well, I'm sure this will be different next time. And once again, it's great to see your beautiful face.
Thank you so much.
Rita.
I had a correspondence with an RTM member who said that since our venture at Eastern Point Beach is so successful, that maybe we would like to also have a concession at Esker Point. So, I guess they have something there just Thursday nights. When they have the concerts, but they thought, I've noticed it has been quite crowded there during especially the weekends, so it was just a
They
thought.
have that volleyball business going.
They have a lot of volleyball going on, and
Well, we could
so
talk to Ernie.
it's just, it might be different hours though, little, because the volleyball is more in the evening. So it was just a thought. Yeah, I thought it was a good thought, and I really can't wait to go and get a hot dog down at Pequannock Plains.
Either.
All right. Is that it?
Yep.
Okay. Katrina?
Just committee meetings and regular meetings, nothing, no correspondence, exactly.
Unlike Susan, we do quiet down for the summer. Jane?
Well, first of all, I met Lee's daughter from California. That was a treat.
Yes.
Really nice.
Thank you so much.
It's so nice of her to come from
She is a
California to
terrific
take care of
human
Bob.
being.
Yeah. And also, we better take care of Ernie. My goodness, he needs to be cloned at least.
Yes.
He's really amazing.
He really is. I knew him back in Stonington. He would, and I probably mentioned this before, he would do food preparation for any PD stuff that we had going on. And oh my gosh, his world has changed so since then.
Yeah.
But he's a great guy. Meetings of Principal Vacancy Committee, Curriculum Committee, and the Parent Negotiation Committee. And playing with my dog a lot.
Andrea?
On a sad note, I did go to Shelby Olson's funeral of Lola Collette's daughter, and it was impressive to see the support from the Groton Public Schools, the number of people who were there, and also who wore blue because it was Shelby's favorite color.
Oh.
On another note, I am going to meet with one of the RTM members concerning curriculum and how it's conducted in Groton, how we get there. So that's something that we're going to talk about. And then I would ask Mrs. Austin if you would let us know when there is going to be a major professional development initiative, such as the one in Stonington. I would love to have gone to that. And if we can...
The world language thing.
Say that again?
The world language thing.
Yep. What did
Yeah.
I say?
No, you said, well, you didn't say world.
Okay.
We know
Whatever
what
that was. I know it was
Yeah,
world
yeah,
language.
no.
But anyway, you get the
Yeah,
picture.
I get it.
And I would like to be able to go to the one in August, so if you would send me that. And I think you said that you had a list of names of teachers who participated, and I'd like to see that, if you could do that. And I think that's all.
Awesome. So I just wanted to, we get this in our packets usually like at least once a month, but I just want to, this is our volunteer hours for the 2018-2019 school year, where we had a total of 2,260 volunteers within our school district that totaled 16,575 in 89 minutes. So just hours. Yes, but the .89 I was counting. Stop correcting me. So I just wanted to let people know that. I wanted to actually let the board know that on Friday, I was on a conference call with Dr. Grenier and Susan to meet with Isabella, who is going to lead our next retreat, doing strategic plan. And so just to make sure that the board's voice was being heard as they planned for it. So I was part of that conference call. And I have placed myself on that building committee about how does the board get to that place of when we are turning over a building to the town, and also what is the process to kind of go through it. As Dr. Grenier mentioned, I was not able to attend the first one, but the second one is going to be on Friday, and I will be at that one. So just to kind of let you know. When we look at the dates for August for the Committee of the Whole and the Board of Ed meetings, is it August 12th or the 19th?
12th.
The 12th.
Wait, I'm sorry, what's the question?
Susan, which one will you be?
12th for her.
Okay, so just to let you know that instead of just canceling, there was so much work that's being done in Susan's office. I just felt like we could just spend that Committee of the Whole just hearing about the activities that's been happening and where we could really ask those questions that we want to have asked. I'm assuming we're gonna just talk about the curriculum and stuff that you are doing, and possibly even giving us the fine details around the transitional K program. So that would be
requirements too.
Yeah.
Are coming out.
Yeah.
So we'll get to have some more information on that.
Yeah, so I felt like instead of, we could go to just one Committee of the Whole meeting, but, and with the fact that Dr. Grenier was going to be out of town, I just figured that this would just give us a chance to meet up with Susan, so.
So which one are we canceling?
We're not canceling.
Oh, okay, well.
Instead of canceling, we're going to have Susan's, I think that if we find that most people are going to be on vacation or whatever, we'll do that, but once again, we kind of figured it was a great time to do the meat of the work. And then we're going to be having a board meeting right before school starts. A regular Board of Ed meeting is going to be our next one. So we're still continuing to be busy. So do we have suggested agenda items? Katrina?
I'm thinking Committee of the Whole, can you mention that? I'd like to discuss the vetting of our policies and what is the best way to do that. Do we have a firm, or do we always use CABE? Or should we always use CABE? I want to affirm versus CABE, which one is the better vetting of the policy.
So I just want to make sure that I understand this. So what you're talking about in the policy committee, when we review our policies, we oftentimes will put up against either CABE, which is the Connecticut Association of Boards of Education, or some boards of education uses an educational lawyer to make sure that our policy is in line with other districts. Is that correct?
Yes.
And so your question is, are we using the best one to vet?
Can we explore that?
Okay, so that,
Like Shipman and Goodwin, I know, does that for Learn. There are different.
That's right.
Yeah.
right,
There's different, yeah.
right. So should that,
We often do, especially if it has to do with, let's say, those health policies. So we will have our lawyer for special ed review it, or we'll have, our lawyer for the board review it if it's something that's really huge. But we don't have it for every single policy that we look at this point, especially if it's a new policy from CABE.
Maybe as a first step, we could clearly explain exactly what we do, and
then go from there?
then
Does
go
that make
from
sense?
there.
Because I, now that you've asked the question, I'm not quite sure if I understand about what gets used. So instead of just saying,
Yeah.
are we using the right one, can we explain? So the first step, I'm going to add a step to yours, which is, can we have an overview about how we review our policies, and to whom from the outside do we use that for? Is that?
Yeah, and I'd also, if we do look at other firms besides CABE, could we have some estimates or some of their pricing?
Right, sure, we can get that.
All right, so as promised, we are going to go back to number 10. And I would like to entertain a motion to go into executive session with not inviting anyone, for the purposes of discussing, going over the results of the superintendent eval and compensation. And can I have a second? I have a second from Andrea. So we are going into executive session at 7:30.